But before that, I mean, actually, right after that, we had fighters. Well, actually, let's talk about our first fighter.
Like all the barbers who are gonna watch this they're listening to know how the hell did you guys start on your road to get these top name fighters? What happened? I mean, they're sitting back with a pen and paper right now going, how the fuck?
Because your original story, you were talking, because you mentioned to me earlier, from Veracruz, Mexico?
Yeah, Veracruz, Mexico.
Veracruz.
Yes, sir.
So you started there. Now you're in Las Vegas cutting Canelo Alvarez to the top-notch UFC fighters. Like Tyler was saying, how did that happen? Where did that transition just start to where you guys were able to do that?
Good question, brother. It's actually a fighter. It's a crazy story. It was actually his first fight too in the UFC. It was literally his first fight in the UFC. He was coming to Vegas to fight, and on top of that, he was a barber himself. So we were a little bit like, well, okay, hold up. He's a fighter. On top of that, he's a barber. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, we're a little nervous. No, we're a little nervous because we're like, if we mess up his cut.
Yeah.
That's what happened. That's how I felt with Rampage.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Dude, when we were doing Rampage's head, I was like, okay, for real though, if this doesn't look good, I've seen these fights. He's going to throw me through a wall.
Well, he's the body slammer.
Yeah,
so I didn't want to get
No, and it's crazy because we were nothing, like we had never ever worked with a celebrity or an athlete or a fighter on top of that. So we didn't know how they act. You know, we didn't know nothing about the fighting game. And then he's like, yo, I need a haircut. And then on top of that, barber, so he knows the lines. He knows face. He knows everything. We were nervous.
Sure.
But long story short, he loved the cut. He was like, bro, what are you guys doing? We got the UFC PI here. The UFC PI is where all the UFC fighters train there. It's basically a facility only for fighters. And I'm like, really? That's here in Las Vegas? He's like, yeah, bro. Let me connect you guys. It's crazy. That same week, we had like 2 champions in our shop. It was just meant to be. ESPN came through, and it just happened in a week from one fighter. And we were like, whoa, we got something good here. We didn't know the UFC. We didn't even watch the UFC back then. We just heard about it, McGregor, the main name. Yeah. But we didn't know it. We didn't know nothing about it until that happened, and we were like, okay, we got to get into it.
We started reaching out.
That's
kind of how what I tell people when they ask me. You got to reach out.
Yeah.
Things are
now,
not
how
going
do
to come
you reach
to
out?
you.
Like if you're a random barber, you're like
on Instagram, brother. Yeah. That's a cool thing about social media because now you could connect to anybody really. Anybody could watch you, look at your message, whatever you got to tell them. You just got to sell yourself right. You know what I mean? You can't just come to a
who
famous
does that
people.
for you two? Do you reach out?
We do it. We do it ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, we hit them up.
You guys have your own. You guys work your own Instagram.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a message here. If anyone's watching this, because this is the same shit that Marvin and I. This is how we made it too.
Yeah,
we got almost the same story.
Crazy,
I'm very conservative. Marvin's like, we need to do this guy's head, and I'm like, okay, how? Shoot him a message. Do something else. How we got in with a lot of big people is we did their bodyguard.
I was just
we did their bodyguard. And then we did people in their circle, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, okay, now we're doing a big name. So and you guys did the same thing. So don't be afraid to reach out, because what do you have to lose, right? Like they could just leave you on red or not answer your shit, which is totally fine. But all it takes is that one. So you guys made a big come up from basically a post at first that went viral. So always make content. That's why we're here today.
That's right.
And then after that, you guys had a good opportunity with one person who hooked you up with the Fighting Academy and the Fighting Place.
That's right.
And then you just rolled from there.
We took it from there. Like you said, it took that message, that DM that we were like, yo, you need a haircut, you're in Vegas, roll up, we got you. And on top of that, we were not the first fighters. We didn't charge them.
Yeah, we would do it for
free.
free.
We would do it for free.
Damn,
same story.
We're talking to us.
We were talking to ourselves, man. Because why would you, right? You get way more content out of doing something like.
And I feel like a lot of people don't see that big picture, because I get a lot of barbers, that we're talking about our business. Barbers, they hit us up, hey, bro, send us this guy, and we're like, okay, well, we'll send them to you. And then when they're in their town. And I'm like, bro, I got this guy here for you to cut him. Bro, how much should I charge him? Should I charge him $1,000, $800? I'm like, bro, this is your first fighter. Like, you should do this.
You should
like,
charge him nothing.
You should charge him nothing. Open that door. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't see that. They see the opposite. They're like, oh, we got a fighter, we got a big famous person. Let's overcharge. Let's charge him. You know what I mean?
That's what I was thinking at first too. And then Marvin's like, no, hell no. We didn't even charge. So like when I was telling that little mini story about we hit some bodyguards, and then we did some friends of like an A-lister, and then we can't say his name.
Yeah.
But then we did the A-lister. We didn't even charge the bodyguards. We didn't charge anyone in his friend group. Yeah. So here we are throwing down maybe could be $10,000 worth of work, but
look what it got us.
It got us 200,000, 300,000 worth of work.
That's funny, brother, because when we used to go to fighters' houses, let's say when they're in town for a fight, let's say they come with like 7, 8 guys, right? So we wanted that guy, right? But then all the guys were like, bro, can I get a cut? Can I get a cut?
Yeah.
And we were like, well, let's get all these guys so that guy could be like, yo, all y'all look fresh. Let me go then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know
because not many people are going to look at their friends and the people that, you know, they trust and be like, oh, you feel good about this work?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't want to get it.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, yeah, I want next.
Exactly. So that's cool. Yeah, we did the same thing. We cut a lot of the coaches, the assistants, until we get to the main guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.